and the conversation began. But what Sagar didn't know was that this meeting would be just the beginning of an unexpected journey for both Mallory and himself. And now, Chapter 6. Inside Doctor. And from here, the story moves to a new chapter in Mallory's life. It was her first day at the company where she would meet Nimit again. She had been looking forward to this moment for weeks. As she walked into the office building, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The air was thick with the smell of freshly brewed coffee, and the sound of chatter filled the hallways. Mallory took a deep breath and reminded herself that she was here to learn and grow. She had always been driven by her passion for numbers and her desire to become financially independent. As she made her way to the reception desk, she couldn't help but think about how far she had come, from being a small-town girl in Uttar Pradesh to landing an articleship in one of the biggest companies in Mumbai. It was a dream come true. But as she waited for the elevator, Mallory's mind began to wander. She thought about her parents and how they had always supported her. Her mother, who had been her rock throughout her life, had instilled in her the importance of being independent and strong. And her father, who had passed away when she was just 5, had taught her the value of hard work and determination. Mallory's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of the elevator doors opening. She stepped inside, and as it took her to the 10th floor, she felt a sense of anticipation building up inside her. What would this new chapter bring? Would she find success and happiness in Mumbai? Only time would tell. And now, Chapter 7. This story would have ended in the previous chapter itself, when Mallory's life seemed poor as they sat on the water tank, watching the sunset paint the sky with hues of orange and pink. Mallory felt a sense of nostalgia wash over her. It had been 6 months since she'd last seen Sagar, and yet it felt like no time at all. They talked about everything and nothing, their conversation flowing effortlessly as they reminisced about old times. Mallory couldn't help but notice the way Sagar's eyes crinkled at the corners when he smiled, or the way his hair curled slightly at the nape of his neck. It was a look she'd always associated with him, one that made her feel like she was home. As they chatted, Mallory found herself opening up to Sagar in ways she never had before. She told him about Nimit's latest project, and how she'd been working nonstop to support him. She shared her fears about their future together, and the doubts that had been plaguing her for months. Sagar listened intently, his expression a mask of concern and understanding. And as they talked, Mallory felt a weight lift off her shoulders, like she was finally being seen and heard by someone who truly cared. It was a feeling she hadn't experienced in a long time, one that left her breathless and wanting more. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Sagar reached out and took Mallory's hand, his touch sending shivers down her spine. "You're not alone, Mallory," he said softly. "I'm here for you, no matter what." And in that moment, Mallory knew she was exactly where she needed to be. And now, Chapter 8. By March 2018, Mallory weighed 70 kgs, and no matter how much she slept or ate, she wouldn't from here. The story moves to a place where Mallory's silence became her biggest enemy. By March 2018, Mallory weighed 70 kgs, and no matter how much she slept or ate, she would always feel lethargic and weak. It was as if her body was screaming for help, but she couldn't hear it amidst the chaos of her life. At times, her hands would shake while working, and at times, her eyelids would flicker constantly. She tried to brush it off by thinking that it was due to a lack of vitamins, but deep down, she knew something was terribly wrong. Mallory's body was trying to tell her many things, but she kept ignoring the signs because she was busy with her daily routine. During weekends, she would video chat with Nimit and sit on the terrace with Sagar, trying to escape the monotony of her life. But even those small moments of peace were tainted by Sagar's constant talk of Devaki, a girl he liked. Mallory tried listening to him, but her mind was agitated, like a stormy sea that couldn't be calmed. By June 2018, matters got really out of hand. Mallory's weight touched 80 kgs, and her hair began to dry up. Every morning, she fought thousands of battles with her weakness to reach office. For the first time in years, Mallory fought with her mom when she suggested she join exercise classes to reduce her weight. After that, Mallory's mom didn't say anything to her, thinking she was stressed because of work. But the truth was, Mallory was fighting a war within herself. She felt extremely happy for a few hours, and then suddenly she would feel angry. She blasted her junior for the smallest of mistakes, and once, she even threw away her mobile phone in anger. She didn't know what was happening in her body and brain. It was as if she was living two separate lives, one that was happy and bright, and another that was dark and foreboding. And then, on one of her lowest days, the office health management camp came to her rescue. Mallory gave all the body tests with the hope of finding a solution to her mysterious illness. But little did she know the diagnosis would change everything. And now, Chapter 9, Present Day inside DR. As they sat together, holding hands and looking into each other's eyes, Mallory felt a sense of peace wash over her. It was as if the weight of the world had been lifted off her shoulders. She thought about how far she had come since her diagnosis, and how Nimit had been by her side every step of the way. He had helped her find doctors, supported her through her treatment, and even cooked meals for her when she couldn't eat. Mallory realized that she had taken him for granted, assuming he would always be there for her. But now, as they sat together in silence, she felt a deep sense of gratitude towards him. She knew that their relationship was strong enough to withstand anything life threw at them. And so, with Nimit's hand still holding hers, Mallory made the decision to start anew, to focus on herself, to take care of her body and mind, and to nurture their love for each other. As they sat there, wrapped in each other's arms, Mallory knew that this was just the beginning of a new chapter in their lives together. And now, Chapter 10. Inside DR Mira's clinic, Doctor. And from here, the story moves to a new plan. Doctor. Mira had just finished her session with Mallory and Sagar, but she knew that this was only the beginning of their journey together. She had a feeling that things were about to get intense. As they left the cabin, Sagar couldn't shake off the feeling that there was something more to what Dr. Mira had said. He looked at Mallory, who seemed oblivious to the conversation they had just had. But Sagar knew that he would have to tell her something soon. The thought of it made him nervous. Meanwhile, Mallory was already thinking about how she could start eating bananas and going to the gym. She had never been one for exercise, but she was willing to try anything if it meant feeling better. As they walked out of the clinic, Dr. Mira called out to them once again. Sagar, don't forget to follow your doctor's orders. Sagar nodded and turned back to Mallory, who was already walking ahead of him. They didn't say much as they made their way home, each lost in their own thoughts. But deep down, Sagar knew that he had a secret